What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some insane battles in the Great League Remix with a triple deer theme team as suggested by one of my subscribers in a response to a recent question of the day. I have to say this is one of the hardest teams I've ever tried to run, definitely not quite on the level of the triple XL teddy bear team, but for sure one of the worst themes I've ever tried. I think it took 14 battles just for me to get my first win with this team, and in 6 sets I only managed a total of 6 wins, but my god, some of those wins were genuinely some of the most impressive and entertaining wins I've ever had, so you are certainly going to enjoy this video. Obviously I've cut out most of the losses, I think a lot of them I couldn't really do anything about, but I have kept in most of the games that I made somewhat close. So with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Who is your favourite Pokemon Go PvP streamer, and what is your favourite thing about their streams? As most of you will know, a promise I made if my channel hit 30k subs before the end of the season was that I would give streaming a try, but of course streaming is very different from making regular videos, and it would just be cool to know what it is in particular that people enjoy most about other streamers. I'm not saying I'm going to copy what everyone else is doing, but I just think it would be very helpful for me as I am definitely a bit nervous about it. So with that being said, let's just get into the battles now. Alright, so heading into the first battle is Stantler into Shadow Magnezone. Now, the reason I'm leading with Stantler is because I believe it is probably the most useless of the 3 Pokemon on this team. It doesn't really have any targets whatsoever, so typically I'm just going to fully sacrifice it in the lead. Here, we're able to go for a Wild Charge as the opponent not wanting to go for their own Wild Charge straight away, so I'm able to grab a shield advantage. Mirror Shot will get the KO, but of course we can come in with the Swords Buck. I am resisting the electric type damage, so they're probably not going to go for a Wild Charge, but Mirror Shot, honestly, with a few more Volt Switches, will take us out here, so I'm definitely going to shield the next move, and I do make quite a significant mistake here. For some reason I thought they were one fast move behind what they're actually at, so I'm going to double shield my Swords Buck. They go for another Mirror Shot. Luckily for me, no debuffs to my attack. But let's see, the opponent's going to come in with Annihilate. I realise I'm at back-to-back Wild Charges, but if I throw, the counter will definitely take me out there, so I bank all of the energy. We come in with the Weird Deer. We're able to make it to a Wild Charge if I went for Stomp there. Stomp, definitely not enough damage to get the KO. So we go for the Wild Charge, taking them out, and they come in with a Mantine. Now, I'm going to wait one turn, wait for the Wing Attack damage to register, because that way, I've now not debuffed my defense, and now we can throw a second Wild Charge. Wild Charge will, of course, one-shot the Mantine, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. It was very important that I waited that one turn, because if I threw straight away, of course, dropping our defense, that wing attack would easily take us out there, and we don't get off the second charge move. But into the next battle, we can see a Shadow Dragonair in the lead. Now, of course, they do outpace me to the charge move. I'm just going to shield and fire off the Wild Charge anyways, and then once again, just going to let the Stantler go down. I don't want to switch out of this matchup here, just because I feel like if I switch lock one of my Pokemon in the back, they are very easy to just hard counter. So, going to no shield here. We then can go for a full Confusion Farm down, and we are able to get that Confusion Farm down, and the opponent once again having a Mantine in the back. Do they know about the Wild Charge coverage? We full send here, and the opponent gets one shot. They've got Swampert in the back. This should be wrapped up right now. We're going to come in with a Swords Buck. We are a Grass type. I'm going to no shield this. They didn't even farm to a potential Sludge Wave, but Hydro Cannon does over half my health here, and you can see Feint Attack is not the fastest energy generating fast move, so we go for a Trailblaze, ramping up the attack, but I'm going to have to shield this up here, and I don't think I'm going to make it to another charge move before the opponent outpaces me, and of course from this range Hydro Cannon will be enough to get the KO. They are 5 away from the next charge move, but Confusion, not enough damage to get the KO, and despite looking like I'd won the game as soon as I landed the Wild Charge up against the Mantine, Shadow Swampert just puts in so much work and takes out both the Swords Buck and the Weird Deer, and we end up losing that game. But GG's to the opponent there. Into the next battle, we see a Shadow Alola Marowak. So, of course, they can't go for Shadow Bone, so I'm going to no shield here. Bone Club, not the best move, so we do live it. And then they swap into a Tentacruel. Now, the reason for them to swap there is probably because they've got 2 water types in the back, and they want to bait out any potential answers. But we're going to come in with the Weird Deer here. Once again, I do let the Stantler go down. No point in swapping out there and then getting Switch Lock. So, instead, going to commit one shield, hoping to go for a farm down there, but because they debuff my attack, I'm not going to get it. Instead, going for a Stomp, taking out the Tentacruel, and the opponent comes in with a Alola Marowak once again. So here, I'm not certain if we can live a Bone Club, so I'm going to play it safe, use my shield, and then I'm going to go for one extra Confusion, swap into my Swords Buck, and the reason for this is, of course, Fire Spin is going to hit for super effective damage, but Bone Club is double resisted. Can we get the farm down? We are barely able to do so, and we have a Wild Charge loaded. That's a Shadow Claw, and Wild Charge is going to grab the final shield. It's a Feraligatr in the back. We're going to go for one extra Confusion, now going for the Wild Charge, and this is going to hit for super effective damage. It takes out the Feraligatr, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into next game, we see Stantler into a Shadow Magnet Zone once again. So of course, once again, not ideal for us, but I don't think they're going to go straight for a Wild Charge. So the opponent is actually going to throw straight away. It's probably just going to be a Mirror Shot. I can't afford to shield this, and it is just the Mirror Shot. So once again, we are going to throw here. We're going for the Wild Charge. I did actually throw slightly after they get the next Volt Switch through. That way it will take me out, because otherwise they possibly could have got off one extra fast move there, and I definitely did not want that. But we've seen Mirror Shot already. They are very unlikely to run Flash Cannon and Mirror Shot, so I'm going to no-shield the next move here. I will eventually start shielding, because once again, Swordsbuck, not the bulkiest Pokemon ever, and the opponent's going to swap into a Shadow Chandelure. So we go for 4 feint attacks, as I was a little bit slow to react there, but I do get a lot of damage, and now I can shield the Flame Charge, go for the Confusion Farm Down, and we still got a lot of health on our Weirdeer. Going to go for 1 Confusion, go for the Stomp, and Stomp is going to get the KO or grab the final shield from the opponent, and we do get that final shield. The opponent fires off a charge move, Mirror Shot doesn't quite take us out there, and we're able to get a simultaneous KO, but the opponent has a Superior in the back, and Swordsbuck, typically you would run it with you typically wouldn't run it at all, but I used to run it with Mega Horn, but a few seasons ago it gained access to Trailblaze, so I thought as a Grass type it's probably useful to have Grass type moves, but in this case, actually Mega Horn probably would have taken out the Superior there, but unfortunately we're not running it, so GG's to the opponent there. Into next game we're going to see Electrode in the lead, so once again, another Wild Charge user, that probably isn't going to throw straight away, and that allows me to make it all the way to the Mega Horn, but the opponent is going to shield. So at this point, once again, just going to sacrifice Stantler. Grabbing a shield advantage is very nice. We can come in with a Swordsbuck. The opponent swaps into a Shadow Muck. So we are, of course, going to come in with the Weirdeer. I'm hoping they don't bait with an Acid Spray. The opponent is going to full set. Actually, no, never mind. I thought they were going to full send a Dark Pulse there. It was a bait with a Thunder Punch, though. But either way, we come out with a Charge We've loaded. Stomp is going to grab the final shield from the opponent. So at this point, I'm putting all my faith into my Swordsbuck. It has failed me a few times already, but hopefully this time will be different. At this point, I'm actually just going to shield this. I know Wild Charge is still going to do a lot of damage, and the opponent is going to have a Cresselia in the back, so maybe I should have let that go through. And here, I thought they might be running Future Sight, so I throw on the CMP tire with a Moonblast as I reach the back-to-back Wild Charges, but unfortunately, they are running Moonblast. So Moonblast will, of course, take me out. I'm not sure if I would have lived that if I didn't drop my defense first, but either way, I don't think I could have quite taken out the Electrode, but GG's to that opponent there. Into next game, we're going to see a Greedent in the lead, so hopefully we can live 2 Body Slams here, and we're going to see that, unfortunately, the first Body Slam already gets us into the yellow health range, so we're going to go for a Wild Charge here, throwing just before the next Body Slam. Honestly, I probably should have tried to throw on CMP there, that way they would have wasted all of their energy straight away, but either way, Body Slam will be taking us out. We do have a shield advantage, but they're going to be able to make it to 2 Body Slams before I even make it to a Charge Move on my Swordsbuck, so certainly not ideal. We are at least resisting the Mud Shots this time with the Swordsbuck, so we could technically live the next Body Slam, but I'm going to shield anyways. We're now going to overwhelm slightly, actually going for a Trailblaze here. I'm hoping this gets the knockout. Trailblaze actually doesn't KO, but the opponent probably didn't realize that, and they don't throw a charge move, and hopefully the opponent doesn't know about the Wild Charge. We've seen it land several times already. Wild Charge, unfortunately, is shielded this time by the opponent. We're going to come in with the Weirdeer. I can't afford to shield this. The opponent's going to go for a Water Pulse, which does some pretty significant damage there, and the opponent is then going to swap into Jellicent, though, and this is huge for me. All I have to do right now is shield, farm up to the back-to-back Wild Charges. Of course, Wild Charge is non-stat, but I'm hoping it's a very strong move. It should be enough damage to get the KO here. And Wild Charge does take out the Jellicent, and of course, a Wild Charge gonna hit for double super effective up against the Mantine, and it takes out the Mantine, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into next battle, you see Stantler into Salazzle, and see if you can guess what team this is going to be. The opponent is going to outpace us to the first charge move. I feel like I should be able to live a Poison Fang, right? And we do just barely hang on. I don't know if I would live the next Incinerate, though, so we swap into Weirdeer, and the opponent has Shadow Dragonair, so it's probably going to be another Shadow Dragon in the back. We're going for Stomp. Stomp is going to grab the first shield from the opponent. At this point, I'm definitely going to shield, as I am 1 confusion away from the next Stomp. Body Slam, going to grab that shield there, but Stomp should either grab a shield or take out the Shadow Dragonair from this range, and Stomp does get the KO. They're going to come in with Salazzle, and we actually get the confusion damage off. They are at like 1 or 2 HP, so if we can come in with the Stantler and get the tackle off before the charge move registers, then we could have actually had a charge move loaded to throw into whatever is in the back. And unfortunately, it is a Shadow Dragonite in the back there, so I feel like if we actually got off the tackle there, we could have just won this game, going for back-to-back Wild Charges with a Stantler and a Swordsbuck, but unfortunately, Shadow Dragonite can very easily clean up at this point, so I'm just going to concede the match there. But GG's to the opponent, and very cool to see that they are using a variation of my team. I mean, they might have just come up with it independently, I don't know, but if you are one of my subscribers and you were using my team, let me know in the comment section down below. But into the next battle, we're going to see the opponent's going to swap into a Roserade, a very spicy team from the opponent here. We're going straight for the Mega Horn, grabbing a shield from the opponent, and the opponent is going to overfarm. But if they go for a Weather Ball here, I should live this pretty comfortably, and the opponent does bait, so now they're going to have to throw a second charge move. Otherwise, I would make it to a Wild Charge. At this point, I feel like they are in 2 Confusion farm down range, and they're going to be 3 Bullet Seeds away from the charge move. So here, we can come in, go for 2 Confusions, get the farm down, very nice. But the opponent has a Drapion in the back, and this is a core breaker for the rest of my team, as we're going straight for the Wild Charge. Wild Charge is going to do big damage, it gets no shielded. They're going to swap back into the Zangoose, and here, at this point, I think I have to call that they are going to full send a close combat. The opponent does full send it. We can now go for the Feint Attack farm down, and we're going to go for a Trailblaze straight away. They are probably in Trailblaze range here. I figured I might as well boost up my attack here. I don't want to go for the Wild Charge, just because if the opponent CMP tires me like they do here, then of course the crunch would take us out. But unfortunately, they're able to outpace me very comfortably to the Aqua Tail, and then once again, they're not quite in Confusion farm down range. They will make it to another crunch. It's going to hit for super effective damage up against the Psychic typing, and crunch takes out the Weird Deer, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG's to the opponent there. Internet's going to see a Shadow Steelix in the lead. So of course, not great for us whatsoever, but I'm just going to have to stay in with the Stantler. Going to no-shield everything. I will make it to a Mega Horn. Of course, Wild Charge is double resisted. Mega Horn is only single resisted. It's not going to do an awful lot of damage in actual fact, but we're just going to throw it anyways, and the opponent does let that go through. So hopefully that does put them into farm down range for my Swordspark. Again, I'm not going to shield the first charge move here, because even if they're running like a harder hitting move like Crunch or even Earthquake, that's going to be resisted. So we let it go through. It is the Psychic Fangs. We're then going to swap one turn before they throw the next Psychic Fangs, and that allows me to get a Confusion in for free. They're then going to come in with a Dugong, so we are going to go straight for the Wild Charge here. They still got both their shields in play, but Wild Charge goes unshielded by the opponent. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but now I can just go for a shield, go for the Confusion farm down. We are now 3 stages debuffed in our defense and 1 stage debuffed in our attack as well, but they're going to come in with a Giratina Origin form, and this might finally be the battle where Swordspark actually does something. They're able to get the Shadow Claw farm down, but that's fine. We're going to double resist everything they possibly throw. They go for an Ominous Wind bait, which is so unnecessary, probably expecting that I'm going to have to use my shield, but I don't use it. We go for the Trailblaze, boosting our attack. The opponent swaps into Steelix, and we get the farm down, only taking 1 Dragon Tail's worth of damage there, which is perfect, because now I can just shield the next Ominous Wind, go for the Feint Attack farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next battle, we're batting up against a Legend Trainer. They're running Crocodile in the lead. So of course, once again, just going to stay in with a Stantler, hoping that by the time they make it to a charge move, I can just barely hang on. I'm not going to shield here. The opponent goes for Crunch, and we do just barely hang on. And because of all the stutter lag lately, I don't go for too many tackles before I throw. I don't take any risks. We just go straight for that Wild Charge. Now we're going to come in with the Weird Deer. We've seen they are running Crunch, so definitely going to shield this up here. And now we can go for 2 Confusions before throwing the next charge move, and that will allow me to throw it off before the opponent actually registers the next Incinerate. We're able to take out the Crocodile. They come in with Pachirisu. I'm going to try and catch a Thunder Punch. We swap into Swordspark, and the opponent's running ABA Double Fire, which is so unfortunate. We're going straight for the Wild Charge. We need this to KO, but the opponent will use their final shield, and at this point, this is game over. Weird Deer not going to be able to take out the very bulky Pachirisu. We're going to go for 2 Confusions, throwing on good timing. Wild Charge, of course, will be enough damage to get the knockout, but it is game over. Pachirisu just way too bulky here. I'm going to shield anyways to make it look close, and they are legend rank, so they might just give me a free win for no reason whatsoever. But we go for the Wild Charge. Wild Charge is resisted. It doesn't do much damage. I'm not sure if it does more damage than the Stomp. I don't really care. Either way, neither move would take them out there, and the opponent's able to take me out with another Thunder Punch, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG's to the opponent there into the next game, and we are going to try and throw just before they make it to the charge move, but stutter lag actually means that we throw on CMP, which is actually better for me, because now they're not going to get a huge farm down. Instead, they throw straight away. Ironhead will be taking us out. We're going to come in with our Weird Deer, and the opponent's going to swap into a Dragalge, and this is no problem whatsoever. We're going to go straight for the Stomp, and if this does connect, I'm actually going to swap into my Swordspark here, or at least I tried to, but the switch didn't even come up there, which is really unfortunate, because now I have to shield an Aqua Tail, whereas if I swapped into my Swordsbuck there, we could have just got the farm down and obviously tanked an Aqua Tail very comfortably. They're now going to come in with a Sableye, so we're going straight for the Wild Charge. It does look like the opponent is lagging here, so the Wild Charge will be coming through, and there is a little bit of lag here. Wild Charge does connect. We swap into our Swordsbuck, and at this point the opponent is certainly lagging. We're able to go for a full Feint Attack farm down, and this is honestly really frustrating, obviously for the opponent, but also for me, because I felt like this was one of the few battles where it was actually potentially winnable for me. But of course, I don't get to find out because they do lag out. So gonna go for the Wild Charge. We're just seeing how much damage it actually does. It doesn't actually take them out there. Weber down is pretty bulky, but eventually we do get the farm down there, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there into the final battle of this video. We're going to lead into Chandelure, and I make a big mistake there. I think I went for like 3 tackles before swapping out, but that actually allows them to throw on perfect timing. If I went for 2 tackles, they would have ended up throwing on the alignment there. We would have got a full confusion in for free, and then I wouldn't have had to throw a charge move here. Instead, we could have just committed to a full confusion farm down. So definite mistake on my end, but luckily for me, the opponent does still have to throw a charge move here to get rid of me, and we put them into range where Swordsbuck can come in and go for a Feint Attack farm down before 1 Incinerate registers. But again, the opponent is running AB8 double fire, this time double fire and ghost. Honestly, I don't really understand it at all, but I guess, I mean, from my previous video with the Salazzle, a lot of teams are super weak to fire, so might as well run double fire. But either way, at this point, we're going to no shield the Dragon Claw, and I make a bit of a mistake here. I thought they would be in range after I land a Wild Charge to Feint Attack farm them down, but I should have over farmed with my Stantler. I wanted to give them less energy, but instead, what we do here is we give ourselves just slightly too big of a farm down with these resisted Feint Attacks. If we came out with a charge move loaded, I think we could have just won that game there, but unfortunate misplay from me. But into the next battle, actually that wasn't the last game, what am I talking about? We're going to see a Toxapex in the lead, so of course, once again, just going to go straight for the Wild Charge. I'm going to throw just before they make it to a potential Gunk Shot, or what's the other one that I learned? Sorry, not Gunk Shot. Sludge Wave, and the opponent is going to go for a Brine there because of course I did drop my defense, but that's fine with me. Going to come in with the Weird Ear, and the opponent is going to come in with a Noctowl. So of course I could go for Wild Charge and potentially one-shot them, but I feel like they are going to shield. So instead I'm going to over farm in this matchup here, going to farm to at least back-to-back stomps before throwing any energy. I'm going for the bait. I don't bait often, and baiting unfortunately does cost me in this matchup as the opponent does correctly call the bait. We're going to go for another stomp, and the opponent is going to no shield, come in with their Serperior, and once again Swordsbuck unfortunately not running Mega Horn, but they've got 2 shields in play anyway, so we're going to swap out. We did actually bank a stomp as we swap there, so if we can somehow make it to back-to-back Wild Charges and grab both shields, we might actually be able to win this. Of course, we do live 1 Aerial Ace, and these Vine Whips are resisted, so they will have to throw another charge move to take me out. There's no way they can farm me down, and here we go for 4 Feint Attacks. We make it to the Wild Charge, and of course this first one should be grabbing a shield. We're going to throw the second one on the CMP tie. Honestly, I'm not certain if this will KO here, but Wild Charge grabs the final shield from the opponent, and now certainly from this range, a stomp, at least with the stab damage from the Weird Ear, should be enough damage to get the KO. It's going to be very close, but Stomp coming through does take out the Serperior, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there, and now into the final battle of this video. We lead into Serperior, and you're going to see pretty quickly that it's a very recognizable team here, as the opponent's just going to go straight for a Leaf Tornado. So unfortunately, this is going to be the team that basically every content creator has showcased, with Serperior, Dugong, and Carbink. And because they debuff my attack by 2 stages, they actually lift the Mega Horn, but they actually choose there to just let the Serperior go down, which is very strange. I'm able to make it to a Wild Charge, of course. They have debuffed my attack by 2 stages, but that still does big damage up against the Dugong. Now, of course, I'm not going to come in with my Grass type to a loaded Dugong, so we come in with the Weird Ear. I'm going to shield the first move. They actually go for Drill Run there, which is very strange. Don't really know why they went for that. And then we can go for a Stomp on the CMP tie with the next charge move. The opponent is going to shield that up there. I can't afford to double shield my Weird Ear. I know, well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Carbink in the back. They swap into it. I should have just swapped straight away there. Definitely a mistake that I stayed in with my Weird Ear for too long, because now, unfortunately, the opponent will outpace me to back-to-back Rock Slides. And whilst, yes, Rock Slide not going to do too much damage, by the time they make it to the second Rock Slide, unfortunately, it will be enough damage to get the KO up against the Swordsbuck. And you're going to see I lose the 1-0 shield up against a Rock type Swordsbuck. Absolutely useless. If it just got a new fast move, honestly, I think it could be very good. But unfortunately, they can Rock Throw, farm down the rest of my team, and unfortunately we do lose that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.